Media outlets throughout the world have been following the story of the man too fat to be a father. A family court judge recently sided with the views of a doctor's assessment, stating that the man's weight impeded his ability to be a good parent. Now, this story has a lot of people alarmed. Due to a publication ban, we can't tell you the man's name, but the gentleman did join me in studio earlier today. You'll also notice that we have his face shadowed for legal reasons. Here's the interview now.
Nothing but rage and disgust for a system that is so biased and has so much discrimination behind it that I'm so angry I can't even describe it. I'm utilizing my anger management skills to the best of my ability at this point. I'm angry because my children are not going to be able to get to see me for even longer now.
I asked him to explain what he meant by discrimination in the system.
The court ruling discriminated against my weight, my obesity, my size. It also discriminated against my choice of how I spend my time. People out there in the world, some people like cars, some people like fishing, some people like art. We all have our own personal hobbies and things that we like to do at the end of the day. And the fact that I like to play computer games from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night, at the end of the day, I sit down and I get down with a bunch of buddies and we go, raid a little town or something. That is, for me, at the end of my day, my choice of how I want to choose to spend my time. I'm not drinking alcohol, I'm not doing drugs, I'm not gambling. My so-called addiction costs me $15 a month, so it's not going to put hardship on my family. And the fact that he called me an intelligent man, and the fact that I am one of the best players in the game, he held that against me. That's just, it's absurd to me. If I was a mechanic and I like to spend time on cars and rebuilding engines, that probably wouldn't have been held against me. But the fact that I like to play a video game once in a while, I play between 9 and 11 at night, and I play one day a week. It's called Game Night Out or Men's Night Out, where myself, my brother, and a couple other buddies get together. We get some pop and we get some chips, and we play from 10 o'clock till 4 a.m.
Now, it's also important to note that the judge's decision referenced other concerns such as anger management and drug use. So I asked the gentleman how he felt these things weighed in relationship to the obesity concern.
I think the obesity issue is one of the number one reasons that I'm not getting my kids. Another reason, one of the top reasons, is because of the anger that I've shown the society. Now, I believe I have a right to be upset at what the society has done to my family on a continuous basis. They've ignored several court orders. And they're above the law. And
who has ignored court orders?
The Children's Aid Society has straight out ignored court orders.
Like which ones?
One of the first orders was to reintegrate both of my children back into my care and my wife's care. 2 days before my youngest was meant to come into my care, my wife at the time, my soon-to-be ex-wife, got together with the Children's Aid Society and said, "I don't love him anymore. I don't want to live with him. I need you to get rid of him," pretty much. And the Children's Aid Society told me that if I didn't leave the family home, that they would take my children and make crown wards out of them, and that they would adopt them and I'd never see them again.
Now, bizarrely enough, apparently the people interviewing him asked him leading questions to list the aggressions he held towards his wife.
They, during the family court clinic, they asked me what three things I disliked about my wife the most, and the three things I said were her abusive nature, the fact that she can't handle any prescription medications, and the fact that she can't run a household. I had the job of dishes. She took the job of laundry, but laundry was all over the house in baskets and garbage bags, and it was always on the floor, and it was never organized. And it was one of my major pet peeves about how we couldn't just hang up the clothes, fold the clothes, put the clothes away. It was one of those things that bothered me. And I told the doctor who was doing the family court clinic about my three top issues.
But it didn't seem like a very balanced interview because they never ended up asking him about things he liked about his wife.
Family court clinic is a sham. I'm telling you right now, the family court clinic is a tool for the Children's Aid Society to take kids away from their parents. the biased information that was released in the last report, and let's be clear, the judge's decision was based entirely on that last report. His decision was the exact same recommendation that came out of this report, the Second Family Court Clinic. And the Second Family Court Clinic didn't put a single piece of evidence that was supported my case into it.
Do you know what?
Now, I asked him for his thoughts on what gave doctors the discretion to even include things like weight and video games as mitigating factors in taking children away.
The Children's Aid Society. The Children's Aid Society sat down with the doctors at the Family Court Clinic and gave them all sorts of erroneous information. The judge's final order stated that I played a video game for 24 hours straight, the World of Warcraft for 24 hours straight. That never happened, and the entire time, in 7 years that I played the game, I've never once played it 24 hours straight. The most I've ever played it was a few hours at a time, and I have the parental logs to back up my story. You know, it's nothing that I can't document.
Now, in a 2011 report, it stated that 25% of Canadians are obese. I asked the gentleman if he thought those obese parents should be worried that they might face the same situation that he has just faced.
Absolutely. You know, the problem is the judge, because the judge made his order, because the Children's Aid Society discriminated against my weight, and the judge made his order supporting the Children's Aid Society, that's just going to allow the Children's Aid Society to do this to more people.
The gentleman also explained to me the protest that he's engaging in response to the court's decision.
I'm going on hunger strike on Parliament Hill at 3 o'clock, and I've got a whole bunch of media there. I've got a whole bunch of friends that are coming out. They called me a woman hater. The judge called me a woman hater because I had 3 female child protection workers, and I was abused by my soon-to-be ex-wife for almost a decade. So I definitely had problems with women, just relating to them. So I requested a male child protection worker because I was completely emotionally abused by the 3 child protection workers that I had before me, that I had involved in my case. And the judge called me a woman hater, which is absolutely hilarious because I have a number of very, very good friends that I've been friends with for like 10, 20, 30 years. That they're going to be on the Hill. They're going to be able to talk into the media. They're going to be telling people that this guy doesn't hate women.
Wow, very unfortunate situation there. After we did the interview, I was speaking with the gentleman, and he explained to me that what gave these child support workers these ideas about him was a 1-hour assessment. So they were in his home for 1 hour throughout an entire year, and that's where they developed their ideas about his parenting. It's very unfortunate. It reminds me of the case of Jesse Sansone, that man who his children were co-parented by the state, and they called the law in on him when his daughter drew a picture of him with a gun. Now you're saying, what can I do about this? Well, speak out. Let politicians know. Email them, and email us. Email us at byline@sunmedia.ca.